So something that I find all the time that is rather unfortunate is these tan seats, tannish, whitish, grayish, whatever, and especially on Japanese cars, it's super common. 4 or 5 years ago, they did these types of seats all the time. Now I don't even think Honda produces these seats in most cars anymore, just because of this inevitable problem right here. So this fabric is, obviously it's white, and you're putting your butt on it, you're putting your stuff on it. This is probably tar, but you get stuff all over these seats. It's super common, it's unavoidable, but the problem is it's fabric, and it can be a bit of a bear to get out. So I'm going to show you what you can expect trying to get stuff like this, especially isolated larger stains, out of the fabric. And this, you can follow this if you wanted to do this to your own car, or if you're looking at a car, want to buy it, want to get it detailed. This is probably, the results you'll see in this video are about what you should be able to expect from what a detailer could offer you for cleaning this. So the first thing that you do is you just basically, we get the seat ready. So that just means vacuuming it, pulling out the weather mats, and getting the whole car vacuumed, and then pre-treating the area with Terminator. That's an enzyme cleaner. It's going to start to break down the stain chemically. Once I've got everything set up, I've got my extractor behind me. There's a steamer to that direction. I've got a brush for carpet, and I've got a Scotch-Brite pad that is dampened. You can see it's damp. This is a bit more aggressive, and we'll do this if we need intense scrubbing, but most of the scrubbing will be done with this. And then we've also got a steamer and some cotton terry towels, because you don't want to use microfiber on seats, especially when you're dealing with heat. One, your steamer is going to burn the fibers on your microfiber and make it useless. And two, the dye could bleed onto the seat, especially when it's a white seat like that, and that would be, worse than what you originally saw. So since this is already pre-treated with Terminator, I'm just going to come in with Carpet Bomber, which is like our all-purpose. It's similar to an all-purpose cleaner, but specially made. It's formulated for carpet, but it's got a similar chemistry where it's slightly basic in nature, and it suds up and that kind of stuff. So once we got that, I'm almost certain that we're going to need steam, so we're going to go ahead and treat it with steam. I'm going to lay, since this is so concentrated, I'm just going to use the jet from my steamer, which looks like that. There you go. And I'm just going to put a towel on there, and hopefully this is going to allow some of the junk to transfer onto the towel. So yeah, you can actually see that stain's already starting to lift, which is a good sign. So a little bit more of that. Just heat up the area with the steam is going to be the best way usually to do that. And then, since it's so isolated, and then since it's not quite coming up, I'm going to go at an angle and get my towel right behind it. I'm just going to shoot steam sideways over it. So yes, I do think this is actually tar. So this is going to be a difficult one to get all the way out. I'll go ahead and work on some of these that are down here. This is just going to heat up those stains and get them hopefully ready to come out. A lot of the times you can see, like, as I flush this with the steamer, You might be able to see that, but it actually is, you know, starting to clean. So the stain is already starting to lift a little bit. Definitely, I do think that the customer is right. It's tar. Pretty sure. So I'm going to isolate it with some Carpet Bomber. Especially this big one up here. The less chemical that we use, the better, but it does get to a point where you're going to need some stronger chemicals. So we're going to go ahead and agitate with our carpet and upholstery brush. And then a white colored drill brush, the softest type. Most manufacturers, the bristles are going to be white on their softest drill brush. That also works great too. I use drill brushes commonly, but if I can avoid them, I like to, just because I don't know, they're a bit out of control sometimes. So let's go ahead and put on our triangle head for the steamer. Now that I've got a lot of soap in a wide area, I'm just gonna get it steaming up on the carpet. Triangle head looks like this, and what we do is we call as a wrap called a diaper wrap. Just gonna set it down in the center, and I usually just twist it like that. That's not like an official diaper wrap, but it's quicker and it does the same thing. Now I'm just gonna slowly go over here, and whatever's left of that stain, what I'm hoping is that it's lifting itself into the towel. So the towel is going to start to get a little bit dirtier, hopefully, as we're cleaning. And this heat does a lot to aid in the cleaning. Because the heat just helps break down whatever the material is in the stain. Because if you think about it, a stain is just something that's left behind inside of the fabric that's a different color from the fabric, and so you can see it, right? That's why white shows so much, because it's really easy to get something stuck in white fabric like this. So it looks really, really surprisingly good. I'm not seeing much of anything. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is retreat the entire seat with Carpet Bomber, because the whole seat is a bit dirty. It's not just the one isolated spot. So I'm going to retreat the entire area with Carpet Bomber. Just like so. I'm going to scrub. And you can see, like I said, you're getting that white foam. Like I said, this Carpet Bomber does have some suds in it. Okay, so the stains should mostly be broken down. What this cleaning process so far that I've done is actually doing is I'm doing a little bit of lifting with the steamer, but not much. I am putting a chemical into the seat that's going to break down the stain and then have it suspended inside the chemical, right? So if I left it at this point, the chemical would dry with the stain still inside of the chemical. So the stain would be faded likely, but it wouldn't be completely gone away, right? Because if you can see, I'm rubbing this, and you can see all that chemical is building a lather, right? And it's all over my hands. We need to pull that chemical out because the stain is suspended inside of that chemical. So that's where an extractor comes in. So I'm actually going to, before I extract, I'm going to grab one more white terry cloth towel, do another diaper wrap on the triangle head of my steamer, and heat up the entire seat, just because that allows, usually it makes it easier to remove everything out of the seat. And as I'm steaming, I'm not putting much water into the seat, because steam's pretty dry, you know, by comparison of just dousing it with water from an extractor. And like I said, some of the staining that's even in the seat is right now pulling itself out into the towel. Okay, so The seat is nice and hot, which is good. That's what we want. And now I'm going to extract. And you should be able to see through that clear head the color of the water. The color of the water indicates how much of that dirt you've pulled out so far. You're not done extracting until the water's coming up basically clear. Because if it's not clear, there is still chemicals and dirt and stains inside of that fabric. Okay, well, I am extremely happy with how the stain came out. Looks fantastic. Looks like it wasn't even there. Really, really lucky. One thing is that when you have this square pattern, for some reason I've noticed Honda does the same one as Toyota with these square patterns. This is a Toyota, but Honda has the same thing with the square pattern. It's a little bit softer. Usually, I can get almost anything out of these. I don't know why. They're slightly more soft, slightly less tightly woven. For whatever reason, they tend to come out better on these ones. But you'll notice the bolsters as well look fantastic. So we're almost done. But there's one key, crucial, important step left, and that is the third part of our chemical treatment. This is finisher peroxide treatment. So this is hydrogen peroxide along with some other things in there. Basically what this does is it neutralizes any chemicals that might have been left behind by the extractor, any stain that might be left behind, so that we don't get a problem called re-wicking, which is a common problem if you put too much liquid on the seat. What will happen is the stain will re-wick from the very, very, very bottom, like into the foam of the seat. If it gets down there, it'll start to re-wick from up in that foam and it'll wick back up into the seat. So this is going to prevent re-wicking as well as neutralize everything and keep the fabric soft now that we've put chemicals into it. And if there was any smell in the stain, which I didn't smell anything in here from it, but if there were to have been any smell in the stain, this would also neutralize that odor typically. So, and it also sterilizes, which is also a bonus, in case there's bacteria in the seat, bacteria in my steamer or my extractor, anything like that. There's no gross stuff that's going to come back up out of there. So, just making sure I get it all over all the fibers with a clean terry towel. And that is the process for going ahead and removing stains from cloth seats, especially these white and tan fabric seats. They are a bear. Like I said, the customer was really lucky in this case that it came out as clean as it did. I've seen many that have not come out this clean. You can search through our Instagram where they've come out, they always come out cleaner, but not always this clean. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully you have an idea of how to do this yourself, or of, even just understanding of how the basic process works and how sometimes, the reasons maybe why sometimes they don't always come out perfect, but how, usually you can expect to see better results. And in this case, we got lucky enough to get near perfect results. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.